In this section, we're going to talk about the commonly used setting explain. And in order to use the explain function, you also have to use the candle number indicator. So we will show you how that works as well. So let's talk about the candle number indicator. And I have already loaded that onto my chart. And you can see right here is the candle number indicator. For a candle number, there's a couple things we'll need to customize. So on the General tab, User Defined, if there's a 0 here, you will need to change that to 1. And if by some chance this box right here is checked, you will need to uncheck it. We do not need this indicator to update tick by tick. And then under Scaling, the scale should be on no axis and subgraph 1. Okay, so let's see how the candle number is used. If you left click above a candle, you'll get your data window and it'll show you down below. You can now see in orange the candle number is 4863. So you can use this information in several ways. Maybe there is a band drawn on your zone on your chart that you don't understand why that would be drawn there. And so what you can do is you can find the leg out candle and you can get that candle number, in this case 4853, and you can use the explain function to explain to you why that band was drawn. And on the flip side, I just put a yellow box here, but let's say maybe you would have normally drawn that as a band. So you can, again, find the, I have to move this line so we can get the box. But say this was going to be my leg out, candle 4888, I can actually ask the tool why it did not draw a band in that area. Another way you can see the candle number is using the Control-Shift-D to give you the data window. And again, you can see here that there's my candle number. And as I click on different candles, it will give me the appropriate number for that candle. So let's go do an explain function. So we're going to go into the chart tools here. Customize, have to shift over to inputs. Okay, we're in the commonly used settings. And here's explain. The default on that is, I need to change this to true. And then we need to put a candle number in here. And so let's just put in that box we drew where we said why wasn't a zone draw there. We'll put in the 4888, and in this scenario I'm going to leave the send to file set as default. So let's go see what the output tells us. So the default settings go to a print log, and how you get there is you go view, easy language, print log, and you can see here it comes up, and let me just close this for right now, and this is the detail that you get. And you can actually, if you need to, you can go into preferences and make your font larger so you can see the information a little better. So it tells us here it could not find a drop base rally pattern. And in the case here, we were looking at a pattern that would be a drop, a base, and a rally. So this is the area where we'd want to look on the explain file. And it tells us that it failed because the candle body percentage, which was an active rule, was rejected because it had to be at least 50% of the candle. But you can see there's a lot of different rules in here, and some of them will say they're inactive. And it looks through the different patterns. It said you couldn't find a rally-based drop because the leg out candle was the wrong color. And so, and it'll just take you through the different rules, and so you can see why each pattern was rejected for not being acceptable to be drawn as a supply or demand band. If you are having this output to the print log, I would suggest that you clear it each time so you don't get multiple explanations confused with one another. The other thing we can do is output the explain to a file. Let me show you how to do that. And so we're going to send it to a file. So we're going to change this to read true. And you have a base file name, and your default for that is it will put it, let me show you that real quick. So this is the path, the default path. It's your C chart tools data, and it will put the explain file there. And I've got a couple files here that I'll just go ahead and there are different files that I'll delete those just to keep this clean. And you may decide that you actually would prefer to put this in a specific location. And if you want to do that, you can just create a folder and then copy the address. And you can paste it into here, and there's a little bit of a specific format that you need to use for that, and I'll walk you through that real quick. Okay, I pasted the default path in here, and as you can see, it's C chart tools, and then it's the first part of the file name is explanation 4. So if you want to change the path of where you want this stored, it is important that you do not remove this explain for piece of it. So let me show you how to do that. So this is the path that we want to change to. And so we're going to go here, and within the quote marks, we're just going to highlight up to the backslash. And then, actually, I should have left that backslash in. So you can see now I've got the MES in there, and you can see that the path name is chart tools data /MES for the new folder you want to send it to, and explanation 4. So let's create this file. So we can see here that we now have our file created, and it says explanation 4 MES equals 107xn 15-minute interval. It gives you the date, okay, and the month for that candle. It also gives you the time of day. It was 10:45 in the morning. So it gives you a lot of detail here to help you understand what you analyzed. So let's open this up. And you can see this is a notepad, and it's all the same information, but it might be able to allow you to more easily search and see why, because you could search for the word fail. if you were trying to understand why a pattern did not be created, and that would allow you to more quickly find the reason that your band was not created that you thought should have been put on the chart. So hopefully that will help you understand a little bit of the explain function. We have a much more detailed video that is on YouTube, and I will put a link for that in the comments.